Hey, this is Annie Veblen-McCarty, and I'm going to teach you how to be effortlessly productive. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I got sick and tired of experts preaching what business and life should look like and what I should be doing as a leader and to turn a profit, only to find myself wasting time, burned out, feeling inauthentic, and still not making any money. On this show, we are ditching the shoulds. I'm giving you permission to do business differently. As a certified master coach, I believe that everything you need to have success and build the life and business of your dreams is already living on the inside. I'm going to empower you to lean into what you do best, help you see your path forward clearly, and give you the strategy and action steps along the way to become effortlessly productive. Let's dive in.
Welcome to today's episode of Effortlessly Productive. Today, we are going to be diving into scaling without sacrifice. When we have this conversation about scaling, a lot of entrepreneurs know it's something that they will need to do eventually to grow their business. However, there are a lot of thoughts that come up. There are a lot of things that they think they're not ready for, that they don't know, or some things they're worried about that might happen in their business. And so I wanted to chat with you today. We're going to be tackling some of these things that people are often worried about with scaling and talk about how to do them in a way that we are not sacrificing the things that are most important to us in our business. We're not sacrificing our core values. We are not sacrificing that connection with our clients and our customers, and basically how to do this so that it makes your business even more magical instead of being this big, scary monster that we have created, right, when we scale. So the first thing that I often hear when I am working with my one-on-one clients or doing my one-on-one audits, that's basically when I sit down with somebody and we do a deep dive into every aspect of their business. I learn what systems and automations and scaling processes they may have in place, or oftentimes they don't have any of that in place, but they know that their plate is way too full and they need some help. They need some more energy and they want some more time in their business. They don't know how to do that. So I basically sit down and I help them customize a plan and figure out what the best course of action is in order to start building these systems and automations and scaling processes into their business. So when I sit down to work with my clients in these one-on-one audits, a lot of the time, one of the biggest things that people are worried about with scaling is that it's going to feel inauthentic. They feel like they need to be the ones sending every message and every email. And if those are automated in some way, or if they have a VA or an employee sending those, because it's not coming from them, that's not authentic. And so what I would say, this is really important because if we think about one of the biggest time expenditures in our business, something that takes up so much of our time and honestly, for a lot of us, takes up a ton of energy as well, it is having those conversations. Now, we love our clients and our customers, and we want to help them and talk to as many as possible. But that also is a really big energy outlay. So there is a limit to how many messages, to how many emails we can send every day. And then we have to remember when those responses come in, that's more energy and more time. So that is often something where that is one of the biggest limitations in an entrepreneur's business, is how many people that they can talk to, how many people that they can reach. And a lot of the time people know that they're like, I've heard of this thing called a sales funnel. I know I'm supposed to have a sales funnel, or I should have a sales funnel, but that scares me because I am worried that that is going to take away that personal connection. And I am worried that it's going to be inauthentic because I'm not the one who is actually sending those messages and sending those emails. The same could be true of just reaching out and chatting with people on social media. Sometimes we'll delegate that to a VA or an employee, or we want to, but we're worried that it's going to be inauthentic. And what I would like to share with you to think about this in a different way is whatever energy. I am huge on energy, the energetics behind our business and what we do. The energy that you are creating these systems in, that's not limited to that one single moment that you are writing that message and hitting send. That energy is infused in that message forever and ever, right? Energy can travel time. It can travel space. It can travel to somebody who's all the way across and around the planet from us, who is not even in our same area, right? We are sending that energy, and that energy travels. So it does not really matter that we are not writing that message in the moment and hitting send at that very moment. Whatever energy we are creating with, and whatever energy we are creating our funnels with, our website with, whatever we are pouring into it, that energy is stored there, and that energy is shared with whoever comes across it. That's part of why I know you go to some people's websites and you're like, there's something off here. I'm not jiving with this energy. And then other people's websites you go to and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. I just jive with them so much. I can like feel their energy. That's because that's being transferred across space and time. So whatever energy you are creating from is the energy that you will be sharing with whoever reads that message, comes to your sales funnel, comes across your website, ads that they see of yours. So we don't have to be afraid of these business systems and these automations and this advertising. We just need to make sure that when we are creating them and when we are writing them, every single email we are composing and every single message we are writing and every single funnel we are building, that we are doing it from the energy that we want to share with everybody. And I think that is where it can get a little bit tricky, because when we are actually sitting there having a conversation with somebody, even if it's online or virtual, when we are responding to an email, when we are sending them more information about our program or about what it is that we offer or our services, we are in that moment and we are excited and we are writing and sharing that energy with them. When we sit down to build our business systems, though, we don't have that person in mind, right? We're not writing it to that one particular person. A lot of the time, we come from this place of like, oh, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write an email sequence. And we are forgetting that we need to be in that right energy. And when I say right, whatever that means for you, whatever energy it is you want to share with everybody. So it's a lot easier when we know we're literally in the middle of a one-on-one personal interaction with somebody to show up with that energy that we want to share with them. But when we're removed and we're sitting down and creating these business systems, we forget to get ourselves into that energy. We forget to picture that person on the other side whose life we want to touch, who we want to heal, who we want to create for. And so that is why it is so important when you are creating business systems that you infuse energetics into it. That's part of what I teach people in my programs, is how to actually do that, how to actually make sure that we are creating our funnels and we are creating our emails and we are creating every single business system, every email we write, every message that we create, that we're creating it from that place of energy. So that energy is stored in those. And we can then literally, this is where scaling is so beautiful, because think about how many people you are going to reach with that business system or that automation. Every single one of those people is going to be touched by that energy that you infuse that one time. And that is how we magnify not just our time. Obviously, you can see how this is a huge time savings. If you write an email once and then hundreds or thousands of people get that email, it's also a way that we can magnify our energy because every single life that reads that email is touched by the energy that we infused into that when we created it. So the next thing I want to talk about, a lot of the time people will say, well, I'm just worried that putting scaling systems, like creating these things, it's going to kill my creative flow. And I totally get that. Because when we start to think about planning out systems and building our funnels, luckily the writing part of all of this, that is more of a creative flow. But when we're really talking about like the strategy and the systems and the automations, that is a very masculine place, right? That is a very masculine energy that we are dealing with. And masculine energy is very important because masculine energy is that organization, it's that planning, it's that get your shit done. That is what the masculine energy is. It's the action. We have our feminine energy that's more that flow and that creativity and your light shining through and that side of the energy. They're both energy. They're both very powerful energy, but it's just different energy. And so when we are somebody who is very creative and very strong on that feminine energy, a lot of the time we can be worried that doing all of these masculine activities that is going to take away and kill our creative flow. And I would like to give you a little bit of a different perspective today with this. So when we do take the time to create some of these more masculine business systems and automations and plan all of that out and think about too, when we are talking about scaling and these systems that we are creating, that is massive masculine action because that message or that email or that sales funnel, that is going out to hundreds or thousands of people. We're talking massive action. That's very masculine. When we take the time to lean into all of this masculine energy in these things that we are creating, these systems, when we can take a little bit of time to live in that masculine energy and create these systems. And side note, you can also hire people to create them for you or to help you brainstorm and give you a plan and teach you how to create them. That's part of what I do with my clients and in my programs. I teach them how to do all of this. When you have somebody helping you and guiding you, you don't have to do it and figure it all out yourself. But when we can take a little bit of time to create these things that are then going to perpetuate and live on, that's part of the scaling, right? We can reach more people in the same amount of time and the same energy. When we take some time to create that, think about how much more time you are going to have to be able to be in your creative flow. When you know that you have a whole system and process for people to come into your funnel, to get to know you, to read your emails, to reach out to them. Literally, you are reaching out to them over and over and over again, all those touch points on autopilot. Think about how much more time when you are not having to be the one to type that up yourself and hit send on every single one of them. That is just happening automatically, and your business is literally growing and scaling itself in the background on autopilot. Think about how much more time you actually will have to be in your creative flow when you're not bogged down and mired with all of those other things. That's more people that you can work with, more clients that you can heal, more time for creating your artwork, all the beautiful things, more time for sharing your light on social media and to every single soul that you touch, more time for teaching inside of your programs. It actually magnifies your creative flow and your creative energy rather than taking away from it. You spend a little bit of time creating this over here, your masculine business systems, and taking that massive action. You spend a little bit of time there in order to magnify the amount of time you get to spend in your creative flow and in that feminine energy for literally the rest of your business. We will have to tweak our business systems. There will be a little bit of process. We'll want to update as we grow and change and are offering new things. But once those systems are in place, it's a lot easier to tweak it and change it and edit it than that creation process to begin with. And you get to spend so much more time in your creativity, in your writing, in your artwork, in your healing, in your coaching, in your programs, in everything that you do. I also know that something holding a lot of people back from scaling is the tech side of things. A lot of people are like, I am just not tech savvy. Tech scares me. I don't know how to set this up. I highly encourage you to seek out a tech solution that works for you, that is easy to integrate all together. I find so many people are trying to hodgepodge 20 different things together. They have a calendar here and a website here and a funnel here, and they do their emails out of this other thing and they're advertising here, and the list goes on and on and on and on. They are now trying to have all of these different things talk together. No wonder you are overwhelmed with tech. I was overwhelmed with tech when that was my approach, and I am strong with tech. That is my wheelhouse. And I would get overwhelmed and be like, why is my email system not sending stuff over to my website and vice versa? I don't know what is happening. Where is the error? And spending all that time and headache troubleshooting and trying to fix it and make it work. No wonder you are overwhelmed. So I highly encourage you to seek out some kind of system that is an all-in-one system. If you are looking for ideas, I do have my own software for creative and spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers called CoachOS. So yeah, that is going to save you so much tech headache, but then also help yourself learn, right? When we are just sitting there and we don't have guidance, that is really, really hard. Find somebody who is good at tech, that is good at teaching in a way that you can easily understand. And of course, you always have the option of hiring it out. However, I highly recommend at least having a basic understanding of the background of what's going on so that if anything happens, you understand what systems are built. You understand sort of how it's all interacting. Even if you have somebody go create it for you in the long run, you having an understanding of how it all works together so that you can go make tiny tweaks and fixes, or at least can point somebody and be like, hey, this one thing in this one funnel isn't working. Can you go fix that? Or can you go update this for me? Rather than it being like, I don't know what's happening and where, I am lost. Somebody else built this and I literally have no idea how any of this works. That's going to make it so somebody has to spend a million more hours trying to figure it all out. So go find somebody. You can learn from me. There are lots of people out there teaching funnels. I will say that especially if you're like, the energetics is super important to me. And I also am learning from a very like basic understanding, and I'm not very advanced. That is my wheelhouse. I love teaching people who have that limiting belief of like, I'm not good at tech. They're my very favorite people to start teaching. And also, like I mentioned at the top of this episode, I do a lot of stuff with energetics. So we're not just going to be creating business systems for the sake of having a system and it's going to be boring and black. We are going to make sure that it is infused with your energy. So follow along with me. I have some super exciting offers and programs coming very soon, or maybe they're launched and out when you're listening to this, that are going to help you understand the tech side of things and help you just be able to navigate all of this and also build your systems with that energy and all the energetics and magic infused into it. Also, if you are interested in CoachOS, you can always go to my website, avmcoaching.com. liberate.com and learn more there. So check it out. Or if you have a system that's working great for you already, that's amazing. Stick with it. If you have things that work, stick with it. If you're looking for something new, maybe come check out what I have to offer and see if it works more easily than other things that you've tried in the past. I cannot wait to hear in the comments, definitely drop how this episode has maybe changed or helped shift a little bit of perspective for you on scaling your business. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next episode of Effortlessly Productive.